Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we got to talk about Carson Tabaracci. He is a big-time player. He's built like a brick. He is the transfer from Utah. And look, he went to Utah as a linebacker. And you guys know, I brought him before, brought his film to you. He was a linebacker slash halfback in high school. However, once he came to Utah, went there, played, had him at linebacker, came to USC, transferred there, and we converted him to a H-back. Now, it took me for a long time, the longest time, to really realize who he reminds me of when you look at his running. I got a player that USC, we can kind of compare and contrast and see if USC can possibly use him like this guy here. And you guys can hit me in the comment section and tell me if you think so. He's 6'2", 230 pounds. He was a 3-star coming out, but his abilities is absolutely crazy. His athleticism is off the charts. So we're going to take a look at Carson real quick, and you guys can hit me and let me know if it's a good comparison or not. We're going to take a look at some footage of him. And then I want to bring up this player that I feel like he compares to, man. You guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. I got a couple of news and note items that I want to touch on as well. Let's take a look at Carson real quick. Let's go. All right, so here's Carson right here. You can just tell he's already a weight room warrior, lifting with that big chain around his neck. But just look at his run abilities, man. Just watch him, how he gets loose and gets jiggy with it. And look, this was when he was in high school. But, man, look at how he just gets up and get it moving, man. He has a motor on him that's a little bit different than what a lot of people, I think a lot of people realize, man. He's very underrated. And when you're talking about the H-back, man, using him at the H-back in Lincoln Riley's offense, I think this dude can really be something special, man. He's a big dude at 6'2", 230, running like this and running this elusive and be able to hit the holes and then be able to come on contact, be able to make contact with people, man. I think it's straight up go time with Carson, man. But it's somebody in specifically somebody that I want to compare him to that's just incredible, man. Former USC fullback, man. And Carson, man, I tell you, he's not afraid of any type of contact whatsoever, man. Anybody that comes up to him, I mean, he's going to put the wood on. And one thing we do know about Carson is the coaches did rave about him. Lincoln Riley talked about him, how he was just progressing in spring practice. And as a result, I think we're going to see some action with him, not specifically at the tight end position, but the H-back position. I believe that, we're going to see some action with Carson. I want to call him Tyson for some reason, but we're going to see some action with Carson, man, because he has some ability that can really be utilized coming out of that backfield, man, coming out of that H-back position. So who does USCJ think Carson Tabaracci can pattern his game after, and how I think USC will utilize Carson Tabaracci? It's going to be this guy right here. His name is Stanley Havili. And look, coincidentally, he is from the state of Utah, just like Carson Tabaracci. Man, I don't know about you, but, man, Utah seems to produce just thick players, man, big players, man, almost like some of these guys come from the South. You remember Porter Gustin from the state of Utah as well. Built he seemed like he was already ready to roll when he came to school, man. But, look, Carson Tabaracci is the same way as well. He's just thick, man. He's just a different type of thick, standing at 6'2", 230. And then you had here Stanley Havili himself, man. He was standing at 6 feet. Some had him at 6'1", 243, and you see how thick and strong and built he is, man. But I think USC can utilize him the same way, use Carson the same way they use Stanley Havili, man. We want to take a look at Stanley Havili's numbers because he didn't have the most outstanding numbers, but when he got in, he was so effective. He was super effective. And as you guys know, there were superstars all over the field. And I think if we compare and contrast, it's the same way with USC. Superstars all over the field, from receivers to running backs to the quarterback. And but Stanley Havili still found his way on the field and was able to be utilized in a great way. Able to make it to the NFL as well, drafted in the 7th round. So let's take a look real quick at Stanley Havili's numbers. Here is Stanley's numbers, but the reason I want to show you this, and you see his numbers, I think that USC and I think that Lincoln Riley is going to use him this way. And as you see, it's not going to be just a whole lot of, a lot of yards, a lot of numbers, but you'll see here in 2010, he played in 13 games, 32 receptions, 396 yards. And Carson may not even have this many yards, but he will get some touches. 396 yards, 12.4 average, 2 TDs, 26 for 166 attempts, and then 6.4 average with 1 TD, 58 plays, 562 yards total, with an average of 9.7, and then 3 TDs on the season. So I think that, only 396 yards, 562 total, between running and passing. And if you guys remember, he caught quite a few passes, man. He was a heck of a catcher out of the backfield and was able to catch he had soft hands, able to catch like a receiver. But I think if Carson Tabaracci can pattern his game after this guy, Stanley Havili, I believe that he will have a successful career. And that's all he needs. That's all he needs is, you only going to get so many touches when you're talking about USC in the current roster right now. But if he can get it to where it's Stanley Havili's career path went, I think that he will have a successful career. You guys hit me and tell me if you agree. All right, so that is Carson Tabaracci, man. You guys hit me in the comments. You let me know what you think. Do you guys think he will be like Stanley Havili? Listen, until later on, everybody stay blessed. Don't forget, make sure you get up, get out, and make some things happen. Fight on, fight on, fight on.